What's up guys, Matt Day here, and today we're going to be taking a look at my photo book collection. But before we do that, I'm going to take a quick second to thank our sponsor for the day, which is Squarespace. If you need a website, a domain, or an online store, make your next move with Squarespace. I've been using Squarespace for years for my own personal website, long before they ever decided to sponsor this channel, but their support has been a huge help for this channel, and if you'd like to try Squarespace out, go to squarespace.com/mattday to get 10% off your first purchase, and every time someone uses that link to sign up, that always helps this channel out. Now when it comes to photo books, I have picked up quite a few over the years. I've got books that range in all different genres and interest levels. There are some books here that probably everybody else has on their shelf as well, and there are probably other books here that maybe nobody else would even want to own, but I like them. So there's a big mix of books in this collection. I've got a few here, I've got more on the second rack, and then more down at the very bottom here. Trying to figure out how I wanted to make this video. I didn't want to just basically list and show every book in my collection and just read off the title, because that doesn't sound like fun for anybody involved. So rather than doing that, I figure we'll just kind of walk through all the books I have here, a little bit of show and tell. I'll probably just kind of point out a few here and there that really stand out to me as some of my favorites, but just kind of give you guys a feel for what's in my collection and how it's all scattered. We're in my office where I film all these videos, and right now this is in the basement of our house. It was before this up on the top floor of our house, and then before that it was on the main floor of the house. And as we have had kids and our family has grown and changed, we've, you know, kind of shuffled things around in this house. Right now we're in the basement that is in an unfinished basement, and I don't really have any proper setup in here. I'm working with what I've got. So eventually, whenever we redo this house and we make some updates this year, I'm gonna have a more finished office and get some new shelves and have a little bit more organization to my books. I'm a pretty organized person, and everything is just scattered right now, and it kind of puts me over the edge some days. So right now, this is the way everything is organized. It's just a big mess. So right here on the top shelf, these are usually a stack of books that are either recent books that I've picked up or just books that I frequent quite a bit. Books that I'm always kind of coming back to, some of my favorites. I guess for starters, we can remove these. These are the guidebooks to Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. We don't talk about these books here. We talk about these on my other YouTube channel, Nerd House, which I don't have time to make videos for. We don't need to talk about that. The very first book, Elliot Erwitt's Dogs. This is probably my favorite book I own. Favorite book I've ever had. Without a doubt, this is essential for me. Huge Elliot Erwitt fan. As you'll see, I've got multiple books of his, but you can't go wrong with this. Love by Jonathan Rentschler. I reviewed that recently. Anomaly Skate Magazine. Big shout out to Kevin Horn. Awesome magazine. Fanho's Hong Kong Yesterday. Amazing book. One I just got a few months ago when a YouTube subscriber, Brian, he gifted this to me for my birthday. So Brian, thanks again. Love this book. Good Goddamn by Brian Shootmat. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. Not really sure, but really enjoyed this one. Andre Wagner's Here for the Ride. Super, super good book. Thomas Hopker's Wanderlust, another really solid book. One that I am still kind of working my way through. I got this not too long ago, but I've been like kind of digesting this one in pieces. Really solid though. French Fred. Killer book. We got more Elliot Erwitt, Personal Exposures, Personal Best, Sequentially Yours, which Sequentially Yours, this was a Christmas gift from my wife. Didn't even know that she knew I wanted this book. She's good like that. This is another awesome one, but anything Elliot Erwitt, put it in front of me and good luck getting my attention. Annie Leibovitz, A Photographer's Life, massive, massive book, and one that I have had this probably longer than most of the books in my collection, but I absolutely love this thing. Can't count how many times I've gone back to that one. Super good book. And of course, Magnum contact sheets, because, you know, you're not a real photographer if you can't post a photo of this on social media and say you own it. It's a good book, but honestly, I don't look at it all that often. I've gone through it numerous times, and there's some good stuff in here, but Is it bad to say that I think it's a little overrated? Maybe, I don't know. Put some of these back, make our way down the shelf. So down here we've got more books stacked up here and over here, and then in the middle this is where I keep all of my records, just because these two photo book stacks, they make good bookends, and it's the only place I can really keep my records contained right now until I get proper shelving. I'm not going to go through my whole record collection. A lot of you guys always comment on whatever records you see in the background of a lot of these videos, so it's always cool to see other people that either recognize an album cover or people that share similar music interests or music tastes. I'm not going to go through my whole collection here. I will show probably my pride and joy of my whole collection. It's of course the Bob's Burgers super deluxe edition, the Bob's Burgers music album. This is 3 vinyl records covering pretty much every song on Bob's Burgers. There is like lyric books, sheet music, there's all kinds of stuff in here. Let's see, the sticker pack, 3 posters, 1 iron-on patch, a 7-inch record. There's so much stuff in here. I spent a lot of money at my buddy's record shop to have this, and I actually like put this on and listen to it while I'm editing. Best show ever. Okay, let's get back to talking about some books here. Right off the bat, got some skate DVDs here. So these are skate videos that come with photo books. I'm always a big fan of that. America Made Chapter 1, real since day one. America Stay Gold, with a camera from Mark. Amazing book, one that I've had for a long, long time. With a camera from Mark by Jai Tanju, super, super good. Kevin Horn, 5 O'Clock Club, always a good one. I better not pull all these down or else these records are going to go tumbling. We've got a couple books by Ed Templeton, Cemetery of Reason and Wayward Cognitions. Big fan of Ed, always have been. Skate the World by Jonathan Mering, that's a super good book. This is Not a Photo Opportunity by Mark Whiteley. I think I've talked about that in a previous video actually. Life in Transition by Brian Gaberman, one of the best to do it. Cowboys, Indians, Hobos, Gamblers, Patriots, Tourists, and Sunsets by Hawkeye Huey. This is a book I got on Kickstarter that I backed, and it's this kid that shoots with an Instax wide camera. I believe his dad is a photographer for like Nat Geo. I think that's what it was Nat Geo. But his son, this little kid who's like, I don't know, he's little, and he's got a whole book of Instax wide photos. It's rad, super nice book, and it's cool to see a kid's point of view. Trent Park, Minutes to Midnight, Annie Leibovitz at Work, Walker Evans, American Photographs. Love that book for sure. Subway by Bruce Davidson, another great book. Danny Clinch is Still Moving. This is one that I am always going back to. Danny Clinch is Still Moving has got to be top 5 favorite books I own, hands down. Defy Convention. This is basically 20 years of DC shoes in photography, so there's some huge amount of skateboarding history in this book. This was a gift from my buddy Chris Ray. Chris got this sent over to me and had it signed by Mike Blayback, one of my favorite skate photographers, so super cool to have that. Face to Face, if I can pull this out. The only reason I bought this photo book is because this photo right here, the cover photo, there was a print hanging up of this in one of my classrooms at OUC. My professor had a print of this, and I loved the photo, and I happened to just notice this in a bookstore once, and I bought it, and there's some cool stuff in here. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but yeah, Face to Face, Lloyd E. Moore. Kind of forgot I had that, to be honest. All right, over here we got New York from the Air, a little bargain outlet book that my cousin bought me. It's a pretty rad book. Michael Krauser, Dog Run. This is definitely one of my favorite books. I got this for like, I think $4 or $5 at some random bargain bookstore, and it is crazy, crazy good. You know, I mentioned earlier Elliot Erwitt's Dogs. It's hard to explain. It's very different from the way Elliot Erwitt approached shooting dogs, but this is such a good book. Definitely one of my favorites. And you can find this for like $2 or $3 online. It's ridiculous. Super, super good book. This actually isn't even a photo book. This is the art of Ryan Otley. He's a comic book artist. He does the artwork for Invincible, which is one of my favorite comics, and he came out with a book just showing his work, and he's super good. It also came with this limited edition print of this Stranger Things piece he did. So rad. Let's see, It's All Good by Boogie, another great book. Stuff I gotta remember not to forget. I think I mentioned that in a previous video as well, by Darren Mickey. Home is Where You Park It, that's another rad one. This book right here, Walter Potter's Curious World of Taxidermy. This was a random gift from Molly's brother. Had no idea it was coming, but it showed up at the house one day, and I was so stoked. Yeah, this is awesome. Shelby Lee Adams, Appalachian Lives. I'm a big Shelby Lee Adams fan. I've got another book of his, Salt and Truth. Pretty much everything by Aaron Draplin. I love Field Notes, the owner or the founder of that, Aaron Draplin. He's a graphic designer and just all around badass. I had to pick up his book as well just because I've always been a big fan of his. Blayback Photo, another one, Mike Blayback, who I mentioned earlier. Definitely one of my favorites. This is a super good book. Vivian Meyer, Street Photographer. That's one I've had for a long time, since that whole thing first came about way back when, and that's still an awesome book. Sally Mann's Immediate Family, another one of my favorites. William Albert Allard, Portraits of America. Ansel Adams, Knowing Where to Stand. That was a book I'd never even heard of until my brother got it for me for Christmas one year, and it's awesome. Jason Lee's Volume 1, Instant Film. That's a good one. This one right here, I gotta try and do this without toppling everything. These are heavy. Okay. Barbara Carant. It's really hard to see it on here, but it's a book called Greyhounds. If you're noticing a theme here, dog photos, all about it. This was one that, like, to study like just the anatomy of a dog, and like I guess the shape, and like just the whole like making composition out of dog features. Like greyhounds are absolutely perfect for that. So and my brother, he has a greyhound. Like, so good, so good. Love this book. Aftermath, Joel Meyerowitz on the World Trade Center after 9/11, and then Ansel Adams, Landscapes of the American West. This is like a massive, massive book that I got really cheap at one of those bargain outlet stores, but it's pretty solid. And then all the way down here, I have these two big crates that are completely full of various books and zines and skate videos. Birdhouse Saturdays. The fact that they released it on a physical release, I had to buy it. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Nate Mattis, Seraph and Silver, whole collection there. Big fan of that. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Zines that people have sent in. Thrasher, Epic Spots. Just tons and tons and tons of books. All kinds of stuff in here. So this one here, Figure Fantasy. It's like toy photography, like macro stuff. Don't even know where I got this. I don't even remember getting that. There's a lot of stuff in here. So this goes all the way down over here. Some more. Cell Block, Josh Sin. Good friend of mine. Met him by having him on my podcast. And this is like a little book he just did recently. All iPhone photos. So rad. Starlight by Josh Chaney. Nice small rad little zine. American Eclipse, Caleb Jenkins. This is a super good zine. Caleb's the one that did my zine, Little Mountains, and we're definitely going to be doing more. Killer zine right here. Love this one. My Eyes Are Getting Older, Grant Lewandowski. Just bought this one as well recently. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Negative Feedback. One of my old photo professors, Jason Lucas, skateboarder, all around rad dude. Kevin O'Mara. You Might Be Right, Kevin O'Mara. Awesome zine, all Instax wide stuff. Super rad. Got some more skate videos here. Bag of Suck, Hot Chocolate. Definitely one of my favorites. A Wider View by Ray Barbee. This is like a collection of X-Pan postcards, but I can't bring myself to use them, so I'll always keep this. There's just all kinds of stuff in here, and I really don't want to take the time to dig everything out and read it all off and put it all back in. So just know there's a lot of stuff right here. So like I mentioned, I have a pretty good variety of different kinds of photo books. They're kind of all over the place, but that's what I like about them. I've found inspiration in all kinds of different photo books. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think and what some of your favorite photo books are, or if you happen to see a book in here that you didn't know about, or a photographer you didn't know about, and now you're going to check them out. I'd like to hear that as well. So definitely leave me those in the comments below. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.